Welcome to the Scatterpot podcast. I am one of the non-existent hosts who's here at the moment, trying to bring you into all the confusion, all the chaos, and all the joy that comes from one of the very good times that we have on a simple evening of nothing but stress, and I've got a baby coming. How are you guys?
Well, that was Josh. If y'all couldn't recognize that voice.
That voice that has been on the podcast sparingly, honestly.
Indeed.
The last episode I was on was 63.
63, and now you're on 69. And you know what that means, Josh.
Nice.
It's 69 of 69.
69 of 69.
69 of 69.
Episode 69.
Nice.
I looked at my wife and I said, I looked right at her and I said, episode 69.
Bruh.
See, you had some 69 jokes.
Yeah. There it is.
Because Josh, I could claim the same thing. It's just a wall I'm staring at, though.
Did you know a new poll
Staring
says
at wall.
that
That's my wife.
69% of Americans support Medicare for all, which
They
pales in comparison to the 100% of Americans who support 69 for all.
Noise.
There's one.
Nice.
They'll be coming out throughout the podcast.
Thank you. I actually did tell Huber to come up with his best 69 jokes. Now, of course, episode 69, nice and all, but let's get the bummer out of the way first. So when Huber and all of us said that 69 of 69, we meant it literally this time. And then we sit in an hour of silence. We just
a morning period.
Yeah, no. So the Scatterpot podcast is going on an indefinite hiatus. We don't know if we'll come back or if we do when. We just Huber and I would say the three of us, but Josh has done jack all to this podcast. Granted, Huber just shows up as well, but no. So Huber and I have kind of found it difficult to keep the podcast fresh and interesting and coherent in this quarantine. Rest in peace, that marker board that held us together for so long. That marker board and table. Hold on. Oh, Lordy Jesus. No.
Throws
You
camera
can't
across the room.
Oh, my cable doesn't reach, but
Oh.
but yeah, there's the table, and then behind the table is the marker board, and then this is me packing because I'm leaving tomorrow morning.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no. And you.
How early are you leaving in the morning?
Whenever my dad wakes up. Just
4:30.
Dude.
I'm leaving at 4:30.
My dad, like, it's either gonna be 4:30 or 5 at the latest.
Oh, man, it's crazy when you've got like long drive ahead of you. Where are you going to? Florida?
Florida.
That's where I'm going.
Where are you going in Florida?
I'm going to the west coast of Florida.
I'm on the west coast of Florida too.
Oh.
I'm going to Cape Canaveral. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Hold on, let me just make sure that I'm not stupid and the place I'm going to is on the west side of Florida. Let's see, where's that? Yeah, that's on the west side. I'm going to PCB, Panama City.
You didn't know that was on the west side?
I wasn't 1,000% sure. Okay, I was like 95% sure. But considering how my day's gone so far, that 5% is very likely. But yeah,
I guess that's how it is.
yeah, no, and I'm like, cause oh my gosh. Okay, quick thing that I hate. I hate the mail app on the iPhone. I just got one email followed by, says you can't read that. You never can. Don't know why I hold it up. It says 21 mail messages. I just got 20.
Here's your email update. You got 21 unread emails.
And I'm like, thanks. I hope none of them were important. Just.
Nah.
Yeah, no, I'll check those later. Nah, we'll figure.
The most important email in my email stream
It's the Lord.
I've got is July 2020 401k enrollment.
Oh.
So I need to do that. I need to enroll in that 401k.
Now, is it due by July or the end of July?
I think they just do it every year. For anyone who reaches that 1 year mark with the company, they can then enroll in 401k.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, gosh, where do we begin?
So
I have
Josh.
stuff like let's let's catch up with Josh, because I have some things that we can talk about news wise.
Yeah.
Hubert, you got a question for me, Hubert?
Yeah, I think what we could do is I'll ask Josh, and then we can just kind of go down the line, kind of what our daily life is. Just let the viewers know what, like, Monday what do we do, Tuesday what do we do, Wednesday what do we do, just stuff like that.
Do we have to include personal activities?
Yes. So, well, not for Josh.
What about my personal activities?
Yeah, Josh. So it's been a little while since you've been on the podcast. It's been a year since you started working at that new job from the annex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I left the annex and then I went to Jenkins.
Yeah.
Yep. So
and that's when you left us. That's when you.
Go ahead and tell the scatters how
the potheads. Tell the potheads.
The potheads. There you go.
The scatty pots. The scatty pot heads.
The scatty potheads. Tell us. What's an average Monday to Friday for you?
Well, my Mondays begin. Pretty much every day for me begins waking up at around 4:30 or 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what my schedule's like, I schedule my own stuff, so I'm able to kind of help mitigate if I want to sleep in a little bit more, if I need to get a little bit more rest, because a lot of times it's late nights and early mornings. But Mondays start with a meeting in the morning at my office, and we have very, very encouraging meetings. Fun fact, you guys remember Ned Flanders from The Simpsons?
Yes.
Okay.
So my coworker Jerry calls me Ned Flanders.
All right.
So he'll call me up and
Ned.
go, "Howdy diddly."
Howdy diddly.
Howdy diddly.
Dude, I love it.
So now I'm actually on his work phone. He has my contact with Ned Flanders shirtless.
Oh, that's an amazing picture of Ned Flanders.
And Ned Flanders shirtless is not an insult. It's a
Oh
compliment.
no, dude!
'Cause
Ned Flanders shirtless is
like
he's got the Lord's
I don't get
strength.
it.
He's got the Lord's strength with
Yeah.
him.
What's so funny is I never knew that there was an episode where Ned Flanders took his shirt off.
Oh yeah,
And Jerry, my coworker, was like, "Dude, it was like one of the best episodes ever.
dude.
He's going to fight Homer." I'm like, "He's going to fight Homer?" He's like, "Yes." But then the Lord calls down to him and says, "Now, Nettie, you know you can't do that."
Dude, one of my favorite Ned Flanders moments in The Simpsons. It's one that's been memed a bunch. It's the one where the Simpsons house is on fire, and he's trying to save Homer. He breaks the upstairs window, throws a mattress down, and he goes, "Lord, please let Homer land straight and true." Throws him off. He lands on the mattress and bounces down the first floor window back into the fire. And he just goes, "Hi." It's a great Ned Flanders moment.
Oh, Nettie.
Oh, Nettie boy.
Nettie Flanders.
Right.
So
Alright,
that's Mondays, the
Mondays,
meeting
okay.
times, and
Okay.
I usually end up getting pretty grilled by Jerry on Mondays just because he loves to poke fun. He's a funny guy. And then it's just work after that. We'll get a call in, and then I got to go respond to it pretty quickly.
Sure.
Start getting dry and stuff. And lately we have been...
It's rained, hasn't it?
The rain's been there, yeah, but I actually haven't gotten a lot of roof tarps and calls about people having water in their house, which is surprising.
Right.
Usually it'd be a lot more.
Mhm.
But the thing that we've been dealing with the most right now is a big fire that happened down in McDonough, Georgia. So this fire was a grease fire, started in the kitchen, just burnt up everything, and then smoke filled the rest of the house. And the proper thing to do in those situations is tear down everything. So we've been tearing down ceilings, walls, floors, leaving basically just the structure in place. So subfloor and studs, that's all that's left. And taking all that stuff, I've been working my tail off, man. I'll go there, and then we have Tyvek suits we wear, which are they're like not Tyvek, but hazmat. That's it.
Right.
I just tried to combine the two words.
I'm
dyslexic. Tyvek. That sounds like a
You're not
German.
I was about to say
Yeah,
it's
sort of German
You
thing.
you Tyvek.
your mother's a Heimek.
Hello there. My name is Heimek Ukentagen.
Actually, it sounds like
I don't
Heimlich,
know.
like the Heimlich maneuver.
But we have it's been so hot these last few days, and the inside of that house, there's no AC. It's just, and we've been up in the attic space, like pushing drywall back down and insulation. Oh my gosh. I remember like the first day I get out, it's been like 3 to 4 hours in this house, and I get out and I'm in that suit, and I peel the suit off of me, and there's like sweat dripping out the sleeves, and I pull my feet out of it, and my shoes are just, they've been soaked, and my socks, it's like there's puddles in my shoes, and I'm like, I've never sweat this much in my life. I feel like I've lost a lot of weight just from how much I sweat at this job. And it's been 2 straight weeks of just working there from like morning until whenever I have to go, because we get a new call in or I have my own stuff. I actually have my own fire that I'm working on in Norcross. So we've got a fire that we have in McDonough and in Norcross. And then while I'm out of town for a week, one of my coworkers has to handle that Norcross one for me. So I feel bad for them because we have to go through, throw away all the homeowner's personal belongings that are deemed non-salvageable.
Dang.
And then, so yeah, my Monday through Friday is comprised of working like just day to night. So I think my longest day so far has been 15 hours. I got up at 4 a.m., got to the office at 7, was there for a meeting, and I didn't get home until midnight.
Dang.
Yeah. So, and just for like, so people know, like my pay hours are 80 hours a week, and it's like bi-weekly.
80 hours?
No, that's wrong. I said that wrong. So it's supposed
80
to be 80
hours
hours
every
in a
2
pay
weeks.
period.
2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. That's it.
Yeah,
so that's
no.
like the
I was
max
like,
amount.
whoa.
Anything over that 80 hours is overtime.
Right.
My last pay period, I logged it out and looked at it. I had 140 hours.
Bro, you're gonna get a
Crazy.
fat check.
So was overtime time and a half, I'm assuming?
That's right. That's right. And then I just saw something new on our pay app thing, and I was looking at it, and it said double time. And I was like, I never heard no dang double time.
Double time.
Double time.
What, is that just like after you're 40, or well, yours is 80. So after 80, it does, let's say you make 50 an hour, so you'll make 30 an hour or something like that?
Yeah, double time like that. Yeah.
Golly.
And I've never heard of when that would go into application, so I don't know what it's there for.
It's probably if you actually do double your time. Like if you
160
if you do over 160 hours,
That's
you get double
insane.
time. That's
a good point.
That would be ridiculous. That would be
point.
ridiculous. That like 160 hours.
Okay, so there's only 168 hours in a week, so you would have to work every day.
Is there really? Hold on, but it's 2 weeks, is it? It's 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, but in 1 week there's 168, so let's multiply that by 2. So 336 hours in 2 weeks, which
Divide that. Well, wait. So what was that number?
so it's 168 for 1 week. 2 weeks is 336.
Do you work weekends?
Yes, but not every weekend.
So it's
And in that last
possible.
pay period, I did work the weekend.
Okay. Yeah, there's just like Huber and I are like crunching all the numbers.
Yeah, you're making bank,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, you're making
supporting your
Your-
wife and
Yeah.
soon to be
Yeah,
kid.
I think if I take what I make normally, hold on, that's not right.
if I
Okay, so my normal paycheck with that is after it's all deducted and everything from taxes, which let me tell you guys something.
Oh yeah, bro. Yes,
On a
Rand.
totally-
Yes.
aware.
On
I'm
a
with
totally
you. I'm
different note, I will run for governor one day
I hate
whenever
the
I
government.
become like the age
Yes.
cap, and I am going like the first thing I'm gonna do, and I hope everyone in Georgia just gets psyched about it. But I'm gonna stand up on a platform. I'm gonna look every person in the audience in the eye. I'm gonna look right at the camera that's gonna be filming my speech. I'm gonna say, "Hello, everyone. My name is Joshua Lee, and I will abolish the state income tax."
Yes. Bro,
if
income
only
tax
it
sucks.
was that easy.
Well, I've been looking into the history of taxes, and I've
I
been like,
bro.
really crunching.
But
it
no,
and
no,
stuff.
yes.
but you know that if any mayor or any sort of government official tried to pull that, there would be so many hurdles they just throw in the way. Like
The
I was
the
literally
deep
sitting
state
down
would do
talking
it.
to my dad, and I was like, "Dad, if I ever did pull the trigger on that, I'd probably be a dead man.
I was about
Someone
to-
would want me dead."
no, like
Yeah.
like that's the thing. Like there would be so many hurdles in your way. It would be like, oh yeah, it's like no income tax, but we started this new tax called the Josh tax. Just and then everyone blames you for all the money they lose.
But like when you really look at like our tax code,
Oh,
we've
yeah.
got taxes on so
Everything.
much. So
Yeah,
I'm
That's
like,
ridiculous.
at the end of the day, I really feel that with all those taxes in place, and then you remove the income tax from the American people, what you'll have is people who are going to want to take that extra money they're making in their paycheck, they're going to want to spend it some more. So more products are being purchased, and the government's probably not going to miss that extra sum as more people are being more frugal with their. Is that the right word? Frugal.
It works.
It probably won't. Yeah, I don't really.
More bodacious with their spending.
Bodacious. What a word.
Bodacious. And of course, coronavirus messes all that up.
Yeah,
So,
of
like,
course.
understanding a pandemic and everything, like, and then my dad looked at me. He's like, "This is what he said. If you were governor, you'd have to make a law or tell your not the Congress, but make the Senate and the House of Representatives for Georgia pass a law that says no business will go out of business during a pandemic. I don't care what's essential or not, because any person who's working and has to provide for something, their job is essential."
Yeah.
End of story. And I've got the benefit of working through the whole pandemic. Like me and Kanan talked about that in episode 63. Like I didn't get no stinking time off to work from home or anything like that.
See, like there was a brief, there was like about a week that I was like solely working from home. But then shortly after that, it was like, hey, all right, we have shoots to do. And I'm like, okay. It's like, okay.
So you need to film the pastor at a table.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you need to go to this shoot. And like for some weird, I don't know whose idea this was, but they started getting more technical with the shoots that we were doing. Like I had to hike Stone Mountain with like 100 pounds of camera equipment at like 5 a.m. and I wanted to kill someone, and the only people there were my boss and my pastor, and I couldn't kill either of them.
Oh, just here's your blanket, Josh.
Josh's.
I saw that. In the
Josh's security. Josh's.
Someone's back there pulling on.
Josh is no longer safe. That's a security blanket. He's no longer safe. Yeah, no, but like.
All right.
Yeah, and so Huber, what is your day to day? We've probably talked about this before on the podcast, but you know what? Screw it. It's the end of the podcast. What are they gonna do? Stop listening? It's the end of the world. What are they gonna do? Stop listening?
What are they gonna do? Nothing.
It's like when it's your last day of work. It's like when it's your last day of work. It's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fire me?
You're gonna fire me? No. My Mondays to Fridays, I wake up around 6:30. I have to be in by 8. I work in a warehouse. Of course, some days are easier than others. It depends on the order. I build fire pits from scratch. We use stainless steel. We sell all sorts of outdoor fire pit equipment, from like glass and copper covers, copper bowls, cement bowls. An average day, if we're busy, I will build maybe a frame or two, ship out some stuff for FedEx, so stainless steel covers, maybe copper covers, build a crate or build a pallet, stuff like that. And that's basically my Monday
through Friday,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then I work at my church as a children's minister, or leader, if you will.
Oh man, they put Huber in charge of children.
That's what I said. I'm like, dude, I wouldn't trust if I know that they're in quarantine right now, but if I went up to the church and I have like little Tommy with me, and I'm like, all right, Tommy, it's like, I know you're gonna be nervous.
Talk to them about Huber.
It's like it's I know you're nervous.
Where'd he touch you?
I know you're nervous about Sunday school, but don't worry. It's going to be... If I saw Huber standing in the doorway, I'm like, all right, Tommy, we're going home now.
Yeah.
All right, Tommy, quarantine
It's pretty
is still
fun,
for us.
He looks like he plays Fortnite. He doesn't look like a safe person.
I lead, do Wednesdays, right? Lesson plan Wednesdays, 2 things with the Wednesdays.
What have you been doing in quarantine with that in particular?
I've been doing weekly videos for them.
That's what I was wondering, because
or depending on exactly what's going on.
So yeah.
Sundays, of course, teach them.
The church.
So we're gonna start heading back to church next Sunday, but we will not be having any like meetings for the children or toddlers or anything like that because of this whole thing.
Yeah,
so everybody will be in the big church.
Yeah, Greystone's doing the same thing. We're opening not this upcoming Sunday, but the next Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, by the time this episode is airing, next Sunday. No,
Right,
that's not even. No.
So
Sorry,
it's not the Sunday that's this weekend. It's the next Sunday. After
no. Sorry.
this.
I'm lied. I lied. It's July 12th. It's not.
Oh,
not
the next Sunday.
Yeah, not the next Sunday for us, but for the people who are listening to this podcast, next Sunday. Not well, the next Sunday.
Right.
It's confusing, but yeah, no. So we're doing that, and again, we're not having any kids ministries or anything like that. It's just like, which is funny because we did a survey and we're not sure what we're expecting because a lot of people said like if there's no like childcare, we're not coming, and it's like okay,
Sure.
Yeah.
fair enough. It's like
Well, funny thing about church and it being opened back up again. So, like I said, I worked that last weekend. That Sunday, me and my wife were going to go visit a church called Restoration Church, which is in Bethlehem, Georgia.
okay.
And we literally walk in there. It's our first Sunday back to church. We are pumped. And we sit down. We've got 10 minutes until it starts. And then my phone buzzes. New Mitt, Canton, Georgia. Do you guys know where Canton, Georgia is?
I've
75 north for an hour.
I was about to say
75 north for an hour.
I was like, because I've been to Canton. I think I delivered furniture to a place in Canton, Georgia.
Yeah, she had a hot water heater leak and had some wood floors and was like, I need you to come out here and help. So I look at Hannah and I'm like, Hannah? And she's like, no way. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go. And she's like, babe, no, don't leave me, no. She came with me. She said,
I'm just
Did you put her to work?
and it was Father's Day.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, no.
So that's the only like downside to my job is like holidays, weekends. Like you're never safe.
Oh, you never.
You're
get
never
you don't get
safe.
Do you get Christmas? Wait. Okay, let me say this. Do you get Christmas, 4th of July,
Easter.
Yes, so like
Easter.
those like and even Thanksgiving, like you get
Thanksgiving? Yeah.
those major holidays.
Yeah, the major
off,
ones. Okay.
But we have to decide who's gonna be the go-to guy.
the
and,
one.
we all have to talk through it.
Gotcha.
Now, typically that doesn't happen.
Mhm.
You don't typically have anything like that happens around that time.
Yeah.
But it's possible. And if it does, usually what we'll do is we'll try to let them know, hey, I understand the situation and the urgency. If there's anything I can do to assist you, please let me know. However, if it's like on Christmas Day, I have to say, please wait until the following day, since we are going to be, since it is Christmas. And most people, if something like that does happen, they usually try to handle it themselves, and they'll deal with it after Christmas themselves anyways. So that's typically how it goes, but I do remember last Christmas,
I gave you my heart.
like 2 days before Christmas, someone called in with a situation, and I was like, oh, God. And then when I was talking to them, they were like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. We're going to deal with this and get started on it, like, 2 days after Christmas. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, no.
All right.
But that doesn't happen often. Most people are, like, very eager, like, get in my house and start doing stuff because it's water everywhere.
Yeah, water's damage is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's gosh. Oh yeah.
All right,
So Hubert, you teach on Wednesdays, and then
teach on Sundays.
you
as
just
well.
work through. You just do your normal job through the rest of the week.
I work Wednesday and then I get off work, take a shower, and go straight to church. But not since COVID, of course.
Yeah, not since the COVID.
Yeah.
The COVID.
And Hubert, where do you go for church?
You go.
Life Bridge in between. Go toward.
I know Life Bridge.
Yeah, it's it's kind of near your
Yeah, it
old
is.
/ new / current church. I don't know where you go, Josh. The Cross.
Yeah, the Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
kind of near there.
It's off of 78.
It's
right?
Yeah,
on
mine's
78.
off
Like
78.
it's literally just like on 78.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it? Wait, hold on.
Like there's no road.
There's another church that looks like Life Bridge, and that's off of 138.
Because I sometimes
It's New Bridge.
to get to the Oconee campus, I sometimes take 78 and I'll pass Huber's Church and I'm like, hey, wait, I'm like, hey, there's Huber's Church. There's Huber's Church.
Yeah, but me and Hannah are like, it's not that we're looking for a new church. We're just kind of like
Exploring.
Yeah, like there's definitely things that have come up since 2020 has gotten so crazy.
Yes.
And Christians have just kind of gone crazy.
Yes.
We are just kind of like, we need to find a place that's stable to a degree.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it is hard to find when you have so many voices on social media all saying so much.
I know. There's. Oof. Yep.
It's true.
It is unreal. It's hard to keep up with that. I'm glad I don't have social media because I would probably be that person who's sitting there going, yo, you're freaking crazy, dude. What are you talking about? Or, oh, I'm sorry. I think I understand you better now because I'm not a very hostile person.
Right.
Vote for me in the future when I run for governor. No state income tax.
I will take away your income tax.
No state income
taxes.
tax.
Do you want more of your paycheck? Well, I'll give it to you.
Dude, I would
By
tell
not
you,
taking your money.
they would legit, they would get rid of the state income tax, and then at next election, you get kicked out. The next guy will make a new tax called the Josh tax, so everyone's pissed off.
To show this guy that he sucks. For
And
doing
then
it in the
everyone's
first
like,
place.
flipping Josh, stealing our money.
Just like Pharaoh. It's like, oh, you want to save the people? Oh, well, guess what? I'm going to make them work 3 times as hard, you piece of...
You piece of... Yeah, they were very active about censorship back in Egypt times. What did you just say to me?
I don't know, man. It's a filter.
It's like, dude, I don't know what I just said. It just got
This is episode 69. I'm all unfiltered.
That's right.
episode 69. Huber, 69 joke right now, quick, before I talk about my week.
Let's see here. World War 69 will be the war that makes our ends meet.
That's what I'm talking about, Huber.
There you go.
That's some quality. That's some quality
that?
jokes. We'll be back in another hour with
good.
Huber's 69 joke of the day. But no, so quickly, I've mentioned this before on the podcast. I know, so I'm going to be quick and brief. My typical week is meetings and video shoots. With COVID, it's mainly video meetings and video shoots. Typically, there would be some Sunday service prep and stuff like that in there. And I had to, before I left work today, I had to make sure that everything was prepped for the shoots upcoming week. I had to prep all that stuff, make sure all was good and ready. And I'm glad so basically we just got a big shipment of cables that we have to run. Ew. I feel I feel attacked by that. Like, it's so deep in your ear.
I kind of was like, it's itching. I'm going to use this to itch it. And then I pulled it out. It was all sucked. Did it again.
Yeah.
No, but
It looks like a toilet plunger.
The suck device.
But so yeah, I've been prepping for a lot of different shoots. We got like a couple 100 yards of cable that we had to run, and thankfully they're running it next week when I'm out of town, and I don't have to run it. So
There you go.
looking forward to that. I really didn't want to spend an afternoon in the rafters of the ceiling running
Yeah.
cables.
Dude, that would be fun.
Oh, it's
Not really.
yeah, no. Because I have a fear of heights.
Right.
It's funny. I claim I have a fear of heights, but I've been in so many situations that have tested that I feel like I'm not really afraid of heights. I just claim I'm afraid of heights. Because I too, 2 years back now, worked in a warehouse, and one day they legit just gave me the stock picker, which is a lift, and they were like, "Hey, Kanan, go dust the ceiling," and I'm like, "What?" They're like, "There's cobwebs in the ceiling, go dust it," and I'm like, and we're in like a proper warehouse, and I like look up, and I'm like, the ceiling? You want me to dust?
Are you sure about that?
And I had to so the lift at the warehouse I worked at, it would go up and then it'd stop, but there's an override button that makes you go higher. So I had to use the override button, and I'm like, I don't feel safe using this button. It's like, hey dude, you're pretty high up, and I'm like, override, we're going higher.
Even further beyond.
and like it's swaying, and I'm like, this is how I'm gonna die. And there was a spider up there, and I almost jumped.
Man, I could tell you some stories from being up high on a roof and stuff.
well,
I
like-
almost fell off at this one roof.
Oh gosh.
The guy who was up there with me was literally like watching me. I stumbled back on the roof, and I was like, huh, and then he was like, Like his face was just like he's gonna die.
You have the right shoes on, right? Like the.
I did. I had my cougar paws on, and
Okay.
and I
Just
didn't-
making sure.
I just didn't fall. That was the good thing.
Yes,
I
the
just
good
didn't
thing.
fall.
Dude, you just winked at your wife. I
So
just.
she looked at me and said,
Uh,
"It's time, you stinker, it's whatever."
what time is it,
I'm so
Josh?
tired. It's 8:12 in the evening.
Oh, I thought it was like you had
What
something to
time
do.
is
It's
it?
just like just look what it's 8:12. No, oh yeah, no, but something that scared me, not even one thing that sucks about my current job is I don't get paid hourly. I just get paid a flat rate, which is fine if I don't work that much. But on certain days where I remember there was this one week where I put in like 60 hours almost, like 60, 70 hours. And I literally spent the night up at the church. Like I did tons of work, but I still just got the same paycheck. And I'm like,
Come on.
and I'm like, dude, yeah, that was for a student event. I didn't even have to do it. Like I was really good friends with the student pastor that was hosting it. And I was like, dude, let's do this the best we can. And we spent the whole week essentially up at the church. We went to his gym to shower. we went to his gym down the road to shower and just spent the night up at the church.
Lovely.
But what I hated about the lifts at my warehouse job is they gave you a harness, of course, because they're not idiots. They're like, hey, wear this harness when you ride the scissor lift. Well, when you ride the lift. Now, the way that the stock picker lift is designed, there's a gate in the front, but it's open in the back because you're supposed to be able to pull furniture onto it. So it's kind of open. You can fall off quite easily. And the harness, there is about a good 10 feet of slack until it actually catches you. Which I'm like, that's too much slack. I'm like, dude, that's like enough slack.
Yeah.
I'm like, if that means if I'm like 9 feet up in the air, I'm breaking a leg, or if I'm any higher, my nuts are gone. Just because it legit, like, he was like, hey, test it out, and I walked, and then eventually it caught me. I'm like, that is too much slack. Like, if I was at the top and I fell, it would be, and I was like, hallelujah.
Get your cherries knocked off.
I became a. What's the name of the people in the choir that are the high key ones? The alto. What are they? High.
No. If you're a high key, you're a
Soprano. I don't know.
Name for.
I can't remember. I just remember someone told me I'm not that I'm a low voice. And I
High
was like,
key.
you suck.
High key singer.
yes.
What's the name
Low
for a high?
voice. I have a
That
low
was actually at
voice.
Victory. At Victory,
It was a
I remember
soprano.
Mrs. Phillips was like, Josh, you have to sing the lows because you're not supposed to sing highs. You don't. Have
So
a
it's
voice. And I was
Huber.
like, Mrs. Phillips.
Huber,
Miss
you
Phillips.
There we go.
you are correct. It is a soprano.
Oh, look at that.
A
Random
dramatic.
knowledge.
Wait. Maybe
You got
not. Nope.
drywall
Nope.
in
Sorry,
that
I
eye.
lied. I
about
looked
to
up
say.
what's the name of a high key singer, and it says a dramatic soprano has a powerful, rich, emotive voice that can sing over a full orchestra. Usually, but not always, the voice has a lower. And I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't answer my question.
Indeed. You're like,
What is
the-
high singing called? It says, okay, no, it is soprano, because this says the
Yes.
soprano is the highest singing voice.
Yeah, so you are a soprano if you can go.
So you are superior. Is that what I just heard?
Dude, Josh
Yeah,
is
apparently
superior.
so.
Josh is a superior human being, just in general.
He is though.
Like,
That is what I feel like sometimes when I wake up the next morning after being dead the night before, and then those times when I get calls in the middle of the night and it's like 11 o'clock, and I'm like, hey, Hannah, I gotta go, and she's like, what?
What'd you say?
So this is Hannah over here sleeping,
Right.
and this is me.
Yeah.
Ding. Hello, Josh, you got a call. Okay, Hannah, I gotta go. What?
Just a little snore.
just like, what?
That's how she always wakes up. It's like this, like it's like all of a sudden she like knows that her nose has like, she knows. She has this realization that her nostrils are filled, so she's like,
Sucking them in, bruh.
and I always just like before I leave, and I always make sure like in the mornings before I leave for sure, I go in. She's usually still super sleeping. and I'll like kiss her on the cheek or the forehead and be, hey, I'm leaving now, and she'll go, what? Oh, bye. And then she'll say, I need a hug. I'm like, okay, I'll give you a hug. All right, bye. I'm leaving.
Bye.
Be safe out there. Bye.
That's how it is, man.
Dude, well, I love it when someone falls asleep like mid conversation with me. It's always so funny. And Josh, you've done it before. The biggest offender that I can think of like falling asleep mid conversation with me is Noah Davis. Noah Davis, like he will, and it's not even, he won't even fall asleep during your part. He'll fall asleep in the middle of his part of talking. Like I'll be talking to Noah Davis, and we'll be late, and we'll be like in my living room, and it's just like, hey Noah, and we'll be talking to someone who's like, yeah. It's like, so I what's something that Noah would have meant? So we would be talking about, like, let's say we're talking about Destiny. Magic. Yeah, we're talking about Magic.
Destiny.
We haven't talked about Magic in years, but we're talking about. So yeah, with the new I don't even know what the newest deck pack is. Ixalan's the last one I remember. So yeah, with the new Ixalan cards, it's like you're able to do a nice, good white. And then you're just like, Noah, and then your response after that is. And you're like, are you okay, my dude?
No, Davis, don't choke on it. Dude. Breathe.
Noah, I love Noah Davis to pieces. He is, it depends on the way he's sleeping, he snores incredibly loud. And I've slept with him in all different positions, including 69.
Whoa. Gay.
He threw that out.
No, no, but like, so yeah, Noah will be snoring, and the weirdest thing I've ever had happen to us, to him, that he did when he was sleeping, was we were in my house and he's asleep. I'm on my phone watching a YouTube video. He then goes 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and that's it. He shot awake, started counting from 12, and then fell back asleep by 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked him about it the next morning, and he goes, what? And I'm like, you don't remember waking up in the middle of the night, counting, and then going back to sleep.
Oh, man, but Hannah's got some of the funniest, like, apparently because she's been pregnant, she's not getting a lot of sleep, and she's gotten some moments where she's just, like, bursting out laughing because I talked in my sleep. And the most recent one, she said, I was literally just laying there, and all of a sudden I just went, SHIT.
Now, did you actually spell it, or did you just say the word? You said the.
I said the word. I was just like. She went, what? And I was still fast asleep.
I'm probably thinking about what you got to do for work that day.
And then I remember one dream. I got pulled over by a police officer, and Hannah heard me talking in my sleep, and I said, no, sir, I'm okay. That's all I said. And she was like, Josh, what?
I don't think I talk in my sleep. I know I snore if I'm sleeping in the right position. But one thing I do know I'm guilty of, and I actually remember
69.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm setting Huber up for these jokes, but he's not hitting them.
Well, you gotta request. It's like
it's like a jukebox. All right, quickly requesting a 69 joke right now.
What comes after 69?
70.
Mouthwash. Easy, bro. Easy.
But no, so one thing I do know that I do is that if you immediately wake me up and ask me a question, I will come up with a weird answer for it, but I'll remember the answer if you ask me about it later. Like, for example, my brother woke me up and says, hey, Kanan, we have to do X and Y. And I'm like, yeah, but what about the rocks? And I'll say something like that, and then he'll be like, and then I'll go back to sleep, and I'll wake up, and he says, Kanan, you know what you told me? I'm like, yeah, I said, what about the rocks? It made sense to me when you asked the question, but I mean, because the real question, though, what about the rocks? I do that all the time.
I don't think I've ever been tired enough to like respond and then fall back asleep. I don't think I've ever. I don't sleep talk. I snore if I'm like drop dead tired.
See, that's yeah.
Other than that,
Dude, hold on. All right, I feel like this has been mentioned. 69 episodes, like however many hours that is, I can't remember. Close to 100 hours of podcast. There's no way we haven't mentioned our good.
What was the average time of an episode?
I'd honestly say
45 minutes to an hour. Because if you remember when we first started,
not
it
even
was
45. Like, well, yeah, when we first started,
it was like
Josh,
20.
It was like 45.
No.
Or
When we
it was
first
30.
it was 20 to 30. Hold
Yeah,
on. All right, all right. I'm gonna quickly do some quick All right. During the duration of this podcast, I'm going to add up the time of how long, how much time we've spent on this podcast, which is a lot, I know. But no.
Post it on the Instagram.
So one thing is that there's no way we haven't mentioned our dear friend who is the AC just kicked on, and I was like, what the? Who is a horrible sleepwalker, Sam Dean. He is quite literally, I have witnessed Sam leave a building in his sleep. Like we were at a summer retreat. Actually, before this summer retreat, his mom came to me and said, "Hey, Kanan, don't let Sam take a top bunk because he sleepwalks and he's gonna fall and hurt himself." So we get to the camp. First thing Sam does, and this is triple bunk beds, he goes for the very top of the triple bunk bed. And I'm like, Sam, I don't think that's a good idea, buddy. I'll take the top one, and you can take the bottom one. And he goes, no, dude, I want the top one. I'm like, are you sure that's a good idea, buddy? And he's like, yeah, bro. And I'm like, and I'm just freaking out, like, his mom's gonna kill me. His mom's gonna kill me. His mom's gonna kill me. But in the middle of the night, he woke up, and he literally walked out of the building. He walked out the building, went down a flight of stairs, and started walking towards the beach that was nearby. It wasn't until our small group leader stepped outside and went, "Sam, get back inside!" And then he turned around and walked back. And he has no memory of it. Sam has groped my butt in his sleep. We allege that Sam... we don't know what happened, but in Canada, when our class went on a trip to Canada, we guarantee that Sam went outside, but we don't know what he did. No one witnessed it. We just woke up one morning and the door was wide open, and there were like footprints and there was footprints in the snow, and we're like, well, either someone snuck in here or Sam did this, and so we chose to believe that Sam did it.
Dang.
Like, Sam was horrible about sleepwalking when we were younger. I never personally sleptwalk. I'm not sure if you guys have ever sleptwalk.
No, but my sister sleepwalks.
Really?
I remember when we were younger, she would sleepwalk, and it was always very creepy.
Like, do you remember anything she did?
Oh, yes, but I can't share it on the podcast because it is far too embarrassing.
Oh.
It is far too embarrassing. I would if it was just you guys talking with me because it is so funny, but if I did on the podcast, she'd be mortified.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
But it
was
a moment of extreme, like, I was just chilling, and then here comes my sister, and I'm like, oh, hey, Brianna, and then the thing she did next literally ruined everything about that. I was just like...
Well, you'll have to tell us afterwards, because we're only allowed to mortify and embarrass Noah Davis on this podcast.
That is true.
That's the only person...
And Noah Davis has not done anything that crazy.
Yeah.
But I do remember when him, Tucker, and I were all at my house, we were all going to watch World War Z.
Oh.
And Noah Davis was like, hey, guys, I can't watch it. I can't watch it.
Really?
Guys. Me and Tucker were like, why? He's like, guys, it's too scary. I can't watch it. We were like, no, Davis, are you kidding me? You think World War Z is too scary? He's like, guys, I can't do horror. And I was like, it's not horror. And he's like, I can't watch it. So me and Tucker are like, screw you, we're turning it on anyways. And then he gets up and walks into the kitchen and is like, guys, turn it off, please.
Oh, no.
Me and Tucker are like, Noah Davis, you big freaking baby. No, actually, we didn't say Noah Davis. We said Noah Debois.
Noah Debois.
Noah Debois, you big baby.
That's hilarious, because World War Z is not a scary movie in any way.
Nope.
That's funny. No. Oh, gosh. Noah is I love Noah dearly. I haven't talked to him too much, which is a real shame, because he borrowed one of my board games before quarantine started.
Oh, no.
And it's still at his house. The only reason I know that is because I think one of the times when we recorded an episode of the podcast with him, and I saw it on his bedside table. I saw the board game on his bedside table. I'm like, hey, Noah, that's my game. And he's like, oh, yeah, it is.
Does he still live up in Jefferson?
Yes, he's still up in Jefferson.
Yes, he does. Josh, I just remember this. I was looking at my hand. At work, I cut my thumb on a razor blade, and I luckily didn't have to get stitches.
Oh, that's good.
But bro, it was bleeding like blood was just flowing. It was like a waterfall. It was I've never seen blood flow like that. It was so crazy to me. It was it was like water, and it's gotten a lot better. But like for a solid 6 months, I couldn't feel anything from like this nail starting right here going to my knuckle. I couldn't feel anything. It's still like a little numb, but it's a lot better.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Nothing like that eventful has happened to me in the past 6 months. Although last night, I sat down to poop, and
Wait
I looked down, and I was like, wait, what? And then Hannah was like, what? And I'm like, there's blood in there. And she was like, there's blood in there? I'm like, yeah, there's blood in there. And she was
Where
like,
did this blood come from?
oh my God. And I was like, I know, I just had a period.
Oh, Josh.
And she was like, no, Josh, stop it. This could be very serious. And I was like, that's probably not serious at all. It turns out I was wiping too invigorously and scratched my anus.
Dude, I've been there.
That's the first time I ever like saw like legit like, whoa, there's a lot of blood down there. Like,
Wait, how much blood? What, like, was it a worrisome amount of blood, or was it a like?
At first, yes, because I was like, what?
Like,
but then after it didn't happen anymore, I was like, oh, I am fine.
I just love that your cats are like, oh, I'm just rectally bleeding. It's fine.
It's just my period.
I've gotten. It's just my time of the month.
You go to Hannah all excited, like, Hannah, it's my time.
And she was like, I thought I married a man. I was like, well, what you don't know, Hannah, is I am the missing link between male and female. Welcome to this no spin zone.
Well, actually, Josh, you used to be a man until you took the drill up the butt, and then that is when you officially.
Gosh, y'all are gay doing that. Like, for real. All of y'all who did it. Dude, that's a little.
Well, it was. I
sus.
couldn't. Who was the first one to take it up the butt? It was not I. I think it was you, but I don't want to call you out like that.
The drill? I don't remember.
Well, it was you, Noah Davis, Josh, and
No. It wasn't. No. It was only us guys that were in drama club. So it would have been me, Josh, Jacob, and Daniel.
Oh,
It was only of us that were actually like in the drama class, because everyone else took the.
I can't remember.
Bro, someone got Daniel good, not with the drill, but like with one of the things where you like.
Oh,
your finger up the butt.
Dude,
yes,
I speaking of rectal bleeding, Josh, didn't I make you bleed like right before a basketball game?
No, he got me so good
during the walkout, like for
like,
warm ups.
It felt like my anus was gonna fall out. And he literally just does his move where he goes, and then he like took a step down, and then he went.
Dude, I gave you all the warning.
The way we got that move was because of a Naruto episode.
Well, it's when
Kakashi Sensei comes up behind Naruto and goes, and then makes him launch into the distance.
Well, yeah, that's like the whole joke. But like, we had rules and stipulations. You had to make the noises, and you had to go through the different phases to warn the other person. And what it was is it was a home game. We're all getting ready. I'm right behind Josh, and we're getting ready to go. I was like, get ready, let's go. And everyone's getting pumped up, and I just go, just right
got
up.
Me, and I like jumped on Andrew Moffat by accident. And he was like, whoa. And I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Kaden, you freaking piece of crap.
And then you like limped out for warm-ups.
I know, Coach was like, Josh, what the heck is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it right now,
I can't talk about it, Coach. I'm sorry.
I can't talk about it right now.
I'm embarrassed. Oh, golly.
Good times. Well, hey, funny story.
Uh-oh.
I've got 11 minutes of battery life left on my computer.
Do you not have a charger?
No.
Where's your charger, my dude?
I'm using it as a countdown.
It's gonna go down faster than 11.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's,
I'm typing in all our numbers to see how long our podcast is as fast
really,
as possible.
really quickly. From what I remember, when we started with Josh, it was like 20 to 30 minutes, and then it got a little bit longer, kind of into that 30, 45-minute range, and then Josh left, and then average became an hour to an hour 15, rarely some hour 30s, every now and then. But, yeah, that's kind of that, and then Kane's tallying up now.
I know, I'm tallying it up, and it's getting complicated because I have how many minutes the podcast is. Well, sort of have the minutes. I've calculated all the seconds, and now I'm going through and getting all the minutes. I'm about to get all the hours.
Okay.
Plus 15.
I'm muttering that battered life, Josh.
I know. I'm currently.
You might have to save your audio.
About 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm currently in the worst episode ever. That's like 30, I think. And I'm going backwards.
Gosh,
I'm going
bro.
backwards.
Oh shoot.
10, 5. Keep
long
talking,
have we been recording
boys.
for?
We've been recording this
Almost an hour.
almost
We've
an
almost
hour.
been recording
Well,
for an
that's
hour.
not.
almost an
All
hour.
right, all right. So keep talking. One interesting thing. WWDC, which is Apple's like conference where they announce all their software, comes up. And they announced a lot of cool things, and a lot of them are Android features for iPhones. And they announced that
What?
so like they're doing
Chinese.
they're doing features that Android had for a while, and they're putting it on the new iPhone. Another big news: Apple is currently working on what they're calling Apple Silicon, which is a Apple processor that they're putting in their new Mac lineup. In 2 years, all Macs that will release will have this new Apple Silicon, this new Apple processor. And the only thing I really want to bring up about the whole WWDC is, besides, I found it interesting, but I'm a nerd, so duh.
I did see an update for that on Apple News that I get an email about, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to look into that.
But one thing I want to mention about that is one of the things they announced is that they want to start putting digital keys on your phone to so you can unlock your car and use your car with your phone. Now, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
That's safe.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, oh.
Like, what cars would even be able to do that, though?
Well, they
Like,
mentioned
it'd probably be
they-
2020.
So they
cars.
mentioned that the new BMW 2021 will allow
Of
it.
course, a BMW.
And then they're working with current car manufacturers to
Yeah, if we're gonna start getting those on the really expensive cars, I can imagine some people who are like, I've got a jailbroken iPhone, and I've got the ability to take hold of your.
Yeah, I was
car
about to say, I'm like, how long
and
until
boom."
someone finds a way to like get access to other people's cars? But honestly, I had this discussion with a friend. I don't know who I'd trust to do this phone-wise besides Apple.
Phone-wise,
Uh-oh.
security-wise, or phone-wise?
Security-wise, like if Android had announced the same thing, I would be a little more sketchy with Android.
Sure.
All right, hold on, 1, 2. Stop counting down. You're throwing me
I'm
off.
trying to help Josh.
No, I'm counting.
I've got 7
Dude,
minutes.
I'm counting numbers, and you guys are just going like 3, 7, and I'm like, shut up, shut up. All right.
I've got battery saver
Hey,
mode on
Josh.
too. Yeah.
Why can't Miss Piggy count to 70?
Why?
She's got a frog in her throat. These are
Oh,
easy,
God.
dude.
These are easy money. Oh, that's funny. Oh man. Well, if you guys haven't been paying attention, I think one of the things I'd like to hit on before everything gets kind of closed out, because it's getting late for me and I gotta get on the road early.
Same here.
But I think at the end of the day, this has been good. You know, I remember when we wanted to start the podcast, Ken, and it was just kind of like on a whim, because we were like, oh, it would be so much fun just to have something to just talk about and like kind of reconnect and hang out again. And it felt like when my life was just going to be easy and normal, and you were always like, well, I'm always at home and I'm always looking for something fun to do. And we came together and created this
Dude,
thing.
it was at a Dunkin' Donuts in Grayson. We
In Grayson.
we came up with the name, the basic idea. 24. I'm sorry, but like we came up with the basic idea and all that stuff. We we can't. And then later I said we need to get a third person, and then I introduced Huber into this. And oh man, dude, it's weird to me just how far this has gone. Like episode 69, like my previous podcast was only 12 episodes. Like, it's insane to me that it's insane to me that we made it to 69.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. And it's just cool to be back and to say hi and always kind of still have a moment to get back in and say hello again.
Indeed.
All right,
man,
so
I'm gonna miss you guys during this process, but I'll still have to come and hang out.
Couple things in closing. First off, Huber, hit us with a number 69.
Another one?
Yes.
How did? That's a bad one.
That one's too much.
Today I turned 69. It didn't make a difference. Think about it. Yeah.
So this podcast,
gross.
I just tallied up the time, and this is not an exact estimate, but it's including this episode, it's over 71 hours of listened content.
Wow.
Okay.
Of like, it's weird. It's crazy to me. Like it's just, again, it's insane that this all came about. Huber, do you have a fun fact for us? A final fun fact. Well, an indefinite final, because indefinite, by that we mean for the time being, we're done.
Until eventually you see another episode pop up on your podcaster catcher.
I was about to say, I'm like maybe, but Huber and I were already planning on taking a pause and a hiatus when school came around, but we thought then Huber was like, maybe we should end it early. But then I said it would be funnier if we ended on 69, so that's how we got where we are now. But no, it's crazy that we made it this far. Hope to see more. Huber, do you have a fun fact for us?
Heart attacks are more likely to happen on a Monday.
Flippin' Mondays, am I right?
Flippin' Mondays.
Flippin' Mondays. And I would have a fun fact, but... I would have a cool news story or weird news story that I typically try to do, but for weird news, I'm looking at our SoundCloud.
Josh's face.
What?
It's frozen.
Did he die? Did we lose him?
He died, bro.
No, we lost.
I knew it was gonna happen.
We never got to scrutinize him about the band. Hold on, I'm calling him. We need to get. We're not done with him yet.
Do you want me to stop recording?
No. We're still recording audio. This is all in the podcast. Hold on. I'm calling him because we never scrutinized him about the banner. Josh Lee, video call. All right, hold on.
Golly.
Can you? Well, my capture should hear this. Is he flipping not gonna answer? All right, there we go.
Died.
Yeah, we figured it died. We didn't want you to miss the ending of the podcast, so orient yourself right so you can be seen, and then you can also see your frozen face. Oh wait, it's set to the back camera. Oops. Wait, no, it's front camera. Yeah. So Josh, say hi to Huber.
Un momento, por favor.
Oh well, he's bit. Dude, it's kind of funny. It's actually the frame it froze on is like you going like,
yeah,
hold on, look at this.
You realizing it just died.
I'm like, oh.
It's like all right. So Josh, so again, we're just glad that you were able to join us even for a little bit on this journey. You were the who was the mommy in creating this? I feel like I was the daddy.
Mommy.
I feel like I was always the daddy.
Whoa.
I just worked. You always knew the technical stuff.
Yeah, so I was podcast daddy, you were podcast mommy, and then Huber was our podcast baby.
Podcast baby.
And we were excited that you were able to join us for this final episode. Well, this indefinite hiatus beginning episode. What the? Who's joining in here?
Josh.
Are you joining back? Your face hasn't popped up yet, and I can't hear you.
The audio's good.
I can't hear you, though.
That's all that matters, bro, the audio.
Oh, I just realized. Wait, yeah, your recording's still there?
Yep.
Okay, good. Oh, I can hear you now back in Discord. I'm gonna keep you here in case it's not recording. Are you? Yeah, you're probably not recording right now, aren't you? Audio
No,
wise. All right.
it says it just now.
All right.
No,
All right.
look at that.
So,
Perfect.
Josh, mute me on your phone. All right. Nope, you haven't done it. I can still hear. Josh, no, Josh, there's nothing recording your audio right now. Call me back. Just, again, I'm podcast daddy. I know what I'm doing. And Huber's our podcast baby. That's the story. All right, hold on. All right, Josh, now mute me on your phone. Mute me on your phone.
Okay, mute or just turn the volume.
Just mute me.
Okay, it's done.
All right. Good. All right, I can't hear myself. Good. So, yeah, grateful to have you back, Josh. For this, Huber. Any closing remarks as a podcast baby?
Wah, all the way home.
Wah, all the way home. All right, and Josh, we have one regret of you with this podcast. One regret.
What?
We are disappointed that after all this time, after 69 episodes, you never made the banner.
Oh my god.
Like that.
The banner was never finished, and now the podcast is finished before the banner was. So thank you guys for listening. Again, you can find us, the Scatterpot Podcast, pretty much anywhere. YouTube is the Scatterpot Productions. Our Instagram, which wasn't even active when the podcast was active, is Scatterpot_podcast. And Josh, I have a special request. Will you please give us one of your beautiful, eloquent Scatterpot as scattering closings, essentially. Just give us a closing that's like scatter you to the whatever. Do one of those beautiful things, and then we'll say goodbye to all the people.
Well, all the people, I just want to say it has been a scattered wind of dreams blowing over a field of green as I look into the distance and I see all the fruit trees dropping their fruit seeds. I think about what it could mean if only I could have been not so mean.
Dean.
But it's been a joy. Take care.
Oh, man.
God bless.
All right, goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much. Keep posting. Huber streams. You can watch him there. Josh and I don't really do anything on Instagram or social media, anything. Keep an eye on our. Maybe we come back. I don't know. And Andrew, I'm sorry that literally as soon as you started getting into the podcast, we're ending the podcast. I'm so sorry for you, but dude, thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who's listened. I was looking at our stats. We have 2,922 plays on SoundCloud alone.
That's good.
That is ridiculous to me. And I'm so happy and excited, and I'm thankful that you guys humored me long enough to get us to 69.
69.
Prayers for 69 more whenever the marker board can be fixed and reused. That marker board was the glue that held us together. But for now, for the time being, for the next couple weeks, this is it. This has been the Scatterpot Podcast, and goodbye, everyone.